Hi, this is Stephanie from Fox 11 News, coming here to tell you guys about ferns. My name is Stephanie and this is my scientist, Aurelia Costa. First of all, where did ferns first evolve? They evolved in the Carboniferous period, about 36 million years ago. However, the current species that we'll be showing you today evolved about 145 million years ago.
Actually, most of the fuel we use today came from the remains of primitive plants, including fern. And fern is also used for food, ornaments, or to decontaminate soil. There's also research about how to use fern to decontaminate the air pollution that we have right now, so fern is pretty cool.
Another question that we have is, what is the dominant generation that they use? In the alternation of generations, the ferns dominantly use the sporophyte life cycle, meaning that they mostly have haploids and they produce spores. That's the same as for most vascular seedless plants, also dominant for the sporophyte life cycle.
The other generation, the gametophyte generation, it's called a prothallus, and it's a small photosynthetic structure that is separate from the main fern. It's usually a heart or kidney shape, and it reproduces by means of sperm and eggs, and it needs water for the sperm to get to the eggs.
And now we're going to travel all over the world to show you some ferns that you'll see around
the world. And our first stop is Japan.
So now I'm reporting from Japan. As you can see here, it says fern in Japanese. I have our Japanese fern expert, Nick, here that'll interview and tell us a little bit more about ferns in Japan. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Nick.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. So tell us, do these ferns have true leaves?
Yes, they do have true leaves, and they're called fronds, which are often pinnate.
That's very interesting. And do they have stems?
Yes, they have above ground and underground stems. The underground stems are called rhizomes. As you can see, the above ground stems.
Oh, that's very interesting. So do they have roots as well as underground stems?
Yes, they have roots just like normal plants that take in nutrients and water through the soil.
Oh, that's very interesting. Thank you so much for being with us.
It was a pleasure.
I'm now reporting from Madagascar. I'm in a tree, not because ferns grow in a tree, but because this is the safest place to do a report. Because, as you see here, many people get killed by lions. But I am here with our fern expert who is willing to make the journey up the tree to come and talk to us about ferns. Thank you so much for crawling up into this safe tree and bringing this fern with you.
Anytime.
And your name is Ida, right?
No, Ijeda.
Ida.
Ijeda.
Ida.
Ijeda.
Ida.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So tell us, do these ferns have seeds or flowers?
Well, actually, these ferns reproduce via spores. That means they don't have either seeds or flowers.
Wow, interesting. So how then do they reproduce?
Well, basically, they have a life cycle which is characterized by their alternating sporophytic phase and gametic phase.
Huh.
As you can see, these are the spores right here on the bottom.
Wow, that's interesting. They're kind of so...
Wait, is that a lion?
Don't tell me that's a lion.
Oh my god, okay.
Oh no.
Well,
Oh
our
no.
next trip is Hawaii!
Now we're in the beautiful islands of Hawaii. We have traveled from Riverside to Japan to Madagascar, safely got out of there, and have now came here to where we can safely shoot on the ground about our ferns. We have our expert, Edna, here again to talk to us about the size of ferns. Thanks, it's great to have you back, Edna.
Actually, it's Ijeda.
Yeah, Ijeda.
Finally.
That's what I've been saying. Anyway, Ijeda, how big are these ferns?
Well, actually, ferns range from a variety of plants that could be 2 to 3 millimeters tall to basically 30 to 80 feet tall.
Wow, so they're usually about this size, right?
No. Like I said, some could be up bigger than this, which could be up to 30 to 80 feet tall.
Wow, that's a very large fern. I've never seen. I usually see ferns about that size. Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Usually it depends on where they're at. So if they grow in the tropical areas, they'll probably get bigger. If they grow, say, like in the desert area, we'll be covering Mexico next, basically they'll grow in the smaller range area.
Very interesting. Thank you so much for coming in again.
Sure.
So now I've traveled down to Mexico to talk to some experts about ferns down here. We are talking about ferns even though we are surrounded by cactus. So now we're here in Sinaloa, Mexico with our fern expert, Tracy.
Actually, it's Sinaloa, Mexico.
Yeah, what she said. It's a pleasure to have you here, Tracy.
Buenas tardes.
So tell us, where do these ferns grow?
Well, ferns grow from a variety of mountains areas, and they also live in desert areas like here in Sinaloa, Mexico. They are also found in bodies of waters and even open fields. They are mostly found in the tropics though.
Wow, that's very interesting. So you're saying that sometimes they'll actually grow inside of bodies of waters and can float upon ponds?
Yes, they actually do.
That's very interesting. Their twining leaves and vines are able to help them do that.
Correct.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Now I am back in Riverside after our perilous journey from Japan to Madagascar to Hawaii and to Mexico. Unfortunately, here in the city we don't have very many ferns like these. We have to buy them at Home Depot because we have a lot of pollution in the air, and unfortunately these ferns need clean air to be able to grow and thrive. And next we're going to see some examples from our sponsors of ferns that do grow naturally.